Learn tonight's breaking news surrounding Jules Kounde, as we are currently in advanced negotiations to sign the player by this week. A final fee is very close to being agreed upon, and it seems like Kounde will be one of the new players to sign for us during this window. On top of that, you guys, we have updates on Frenkie De Jong. Are we potentially making a hijack offer to sign for Man United? And let's hear the first words made by our second signing of this summer in Koulibaly and why he decided to sign for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Smash that like button. Let's get 3k likes. And without wasting any more time, let's kick things off and let's talk Koulibaly. Now today, we got some confirmation behind some of the shirt numbers some of our new signings are going to be wearing. For example, Raheem Sterling is set to wear the number 17 shirt. Gallagher has swapped now from number 38 to number 15, and Koulibaly is set to wear the number left by our club legend in John Terry, which is the number 26 shirt. So this is of course a really big move and a really big commitment to Koulibaly, and it really tells you how he's being viewed and seen as a signing for this window. I'm quite excited of course, but of course we can't forget that these currently are temporary numbers. Of course, once the window ends, that's when the official squad list of course gets sent off, and then potentially maybe players may swap, but currently we have an indication that these are the numbers players are set to wear. But let's actually hear some of the words said by Koulibaly now. I have to show everybody that I am the player they think. To do this with Chelsea will be easier for me. A big team with big players will make my work easier. I don't like to speak before, but I want to give emotion to the supporters, to everybody that loves Chelsea. I want to show them that I am the player they have been waiting for. I want to win a lot of titles with Chelsea. The only thing I can tell them is that on the pitch, I will give 200% for them, for the staff, for everybody working at the club. I want to thank them for the big welcome. I am looking forward to seeing them at Stamford Bridge. He continues on to reveal why he actually signed for us. As he says, when talking about Jorginho, we speak together, me and Georgie. 1 month ago, Georgie texted me and asked me if I wanted to come to Chelsea. I said, I don't know if they want me. I want to come, but don't want to propose myself. If they want me to come, I will come. And after that, my choice was made. I am happy already. It is a talented team with a lot of young players and some experienced players, a nice mix. This can be a good thing for the team and City. I want to give emotion to the supporters to come to Stamford Bridge and show everybody I will work for the team to win something. I look forward to starting training. So, of course, we know that he's already undertaken training in pre-season. We should be seeing him in our next pre-season game versus ChelseaFC. And of course, you guys expect the stream and match reviews to come out literally as the game is live. So, Koulibaly has a lot of ambition to make things happen here, to win titles. And now he's playing alongside big players. This should make his dreams and ambitions easier to achieve and accomplish. So for me, this is one of the best signings we've done in God knows how many years. I think the guy really is of that level. He really is that good. I can't wait to see him play. You guys share your thoughts and opinions. And now, let's move on to the next big story. Today's video is brought to you by friends of the channel in OneFootball. OneFootball is the app to have every single time there's a summer window and a pre-season period, because this is the hub to go to get access to all the information you need to have you covered during the summer period. As you guys can see on screen right now, use the profile page right here and favorite and like your favorite teams and players. Of course, clicking on Chelsea right here takes me straight to all the latest news that's updated by the minute from across Europe, as you guys can see. And moving on as well too, of course, get ready for our next pre-season friendly game versus ChelseaFC. You have the kickoff times here, and once the squads get announced, of course, that will be updated through the app as well too. I'm looking at the transfer tab right here though. It's nice to see some done deals finally, because it's been quite barren throughout the summer. Koulibaly, Sterling done. Who else is going to join the list as the summer goes on? You'll find out soon, my friends. So download OneFootball, try it out for free. There's a link below in the description. Click on it and tell me in the comment section how you find it if you do that. So getting back to the video. Now, before I get into things, I want to say quickly the reason why this video is coming out so much later is that I had to wait for all the information and context to come out first before I can give my thoughts and opinions behind a story that has been evolving literally every single hour. Right now, we are coming back with a new offer to Sevilla to sign Kounde. Earlier today, we had an offer of around 55 million euros turned down by Sevilla, but you guys don't worry with this one. Both clubs in Sevilla and us are very willing now to get a deal done as quickly as possible. Now, Sevilla are adamant that they won't sell Kounde below 65 million, but it does seem like now they've softened their stance. Instead of receiving all that money up front, it seems like as long as they receive a substantial amount up front, they are happy to receive the rest of the money in installments, which makes things a lot better for us and gives us a lot more negotiation power now to finally get this deal over the line. Now, earlier today, there were some maybe premature reports suggesting that a fee had already been agreed. When I saw them, I was thinking, okay, I know what the video title was going to be, but something was telling me there's no way in hell that, unless the big boy journalists are confirming the story, other journalists just aren't going to know. I explained before that with the club, they have like their go-to journalists in which they give information towards, and we know already and have an idea of who those guys are. So On Scene for sure is one of the big guys. So unless big journalists report on these stories, I'm not really believing the rest coming out from all the others. Early reports today suggested that we had agreed a fee of around 45 million upfront in cash plus 20 million in add-ons, with other reports suggesting that we agreed a 51 million pound bid plus 4 million add-ons. Now, when you add both these fees up, they do equate to being around 65 million, and that gives me an indication that we aren't too far away now, considering that rumours are coming out that this could be some of the potential final offers and fees in which Sevilla agreed to sell Kounde to us. Now, this doesn't mean that Barcelona are entirely out of the picture, but again, we still have things in our favour. Number one, Sevilla ideally prefer to sell him abroad. They get to earn more money from that because they know that if you sell to Barcelona, you won't get that money back for another like 20 years realistically. And of course, ideally, do they want to continue to strengthen rivals in the league? I'm not too sure with that. And the players that offer in exchange just aren't as good. And ultimately, dealing with Barcelona adds a lot more time. Time that Sevilla do not have. Sevilla want money now to reinvest back in their team. They have their own ambitions, they have their own goals they need to meet for next season, and they're hoping that Kounde's future will be sorted before Thursday, because on Thursday, the Sevilla team fly off to Portugal to, of course, to continue their pre-season preparations. So now that confirmation is out that a massive bid of around 55 million euros has been turned down, you'd imagine that we aren't far away now from agreeing full final terms. Could that be 55 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons? Ideally, could that be maybe giving like 50 million up front with another 15 million in add-ons? That could also be the case, but I don't know, with all the efforts we're making now, if anything flops with this deal, I think I'd be pretty disappointed. With Kounde, there's willingness for the player to sign for us, even though of course he's also happy with Barcelona. I mean, who's not going to be happy when you've got two of the best clubs in the world vying to sign you for their teams? Xavi is still in Kounde's ear. Ideally, he wants Kounde there for next season, but ultimately it just seems like with the financial mess Barca are in, even though they're still securing deals, they signed Lewandowski earlier this week, Kounde will take a very long time, and Xavi, as we already know from previous reports, has kind of spoken to the player maybe to delay things, but there is no willingness on Kounde's side to do so. He's more than happy to sign for us. He's already agreed personal terms now for like literally over 12 months, so there's belief that this deal will finally be wrapped up in the next 48 hours, in which Kounde of course will complete his medical and take it as well. Now we have other news that confirms that Kounde will be signed within this week, because Azpilicueta's future of course was dependent on the future of Kounde. Ideally, Tuchel wants to keep his leader here, not only for what he brings on the field, but also his leadership and his high status within the squad and the team. But for him to actually go and sign for Barcelona, it meant that we had to bring in a replacement first, and that replacement of course is going to be Jules Kounde, who does replace him as that right-sided centre-back for next season. This means that Azpilicueta now is set to be signing for Barcelona very, very soon. And in regards to the future of Alonso, it seems like Barca needs to raise their bid more to be able to sign the player. So, I mean, I don't understand why they're trying to sign anyone and everyone this whole window, but they've been able to find ways to pull through, and I guess that's like the eternal pulling power that Barcelona have. Aspi has already agreed to a 2-year offer presented by Barcelona, and Barca are currently trying to get this deal wrapped up as soon as possible. So everything is linking together beautifully right now, and it is quite interesting. Of course, Kounde, it's weird we put this guy on hold for so long while we pursued many other centre-back targets. Today we saw De Ligt officially signed for Bayern Munich for around £68 million. We've seen efforts of Bremer and stuff, you know, turn into nothing. And Kimpembe as well. Based on reports coming out from France, from L'Equipe, it does seem like he wants to remain at Paris Saint-Germain. As I've been alluding to over the past videos discussing Kimpembe, Gauthier, the new manager, wants to keep him at the club. We know that he wouldn't be allowed to leave unless he gets the blessing from the manager, and Paris Saint-Germain don't really have to sell. They're in a situation right now where if they're presented with a ridiculous offer, of course they will consider things and move the player on if the player then decides he wants to go. So currently, I'm not too sure what's happening with Kimpembe. Maybe things could evolve and change, but all I know is that Kounde finally is set to be signing for us. And for me, even though Tuchel maybe kind of accepted Kounde based on the old regime, presenting him to the manager, he's still signing a top-class player for me that has, you know, is pretty future-proof, and I feel will be one of the world-class defenders of his generation. I think he really is that good. I'm very excited to watch him play. I know he's very skillful playing out from the back, very confident carrying that ball forwards, and I think he could present a lot of incredible opportunities alongside Reece James down that right-hand side. So Kounde, 48 hours, the deal will be done. I can't wait for it to end. And right now, we move on to the final story, and now we talk Frenkie De Jong. Now, a report came out from a Spanish publication called Revelo, or I'm definitely getting their names wrong. There seem to be new guys on the block. I'm not too sure about the story, to be honest with you, but it seems to be gaining some traction on the internet currently. But they're basically saying that Barcelona already know that we are preparing a formal proposal now to try and sign Frenkie De Jong. They say in the last few hours from London, they have expressed their firm desire to sign the Dutchman. And Man United is a club that is not interested in Frenkie De Jong, mind, body and spirit. He doesn't want to be there at all. He's made that obvious. I'd imagine that if he was really forced out from Barcelona, because they need to sell the player to get funds to reinvest into, you know, signing other players as well too, then I'd imagine the player would be okay with signing for us. But I kind of think the timing of everything doesn't make as much sense. You know, for me, if we were to make the same move for Frenkie De Jong right now, I don't want to give Barcelona any confidence that they've got money coming in so they can do anything to try and scup our efforts for Kounde. I feel like we could probably get Kounde wrapped up first and then move on towards Frenkie De Jong. Maybe that way we could do something that involves Alonso and Azpilicueta. Barca still want to get these deals done, and they have to sell the player as well too. I don't really understand these reports currently. I'm not believing them at this point in time, but that doesn't mean that there couldn't be some logic and some reasoning behind the reports coming out. Barca, as I keep stressing, they have to sell him. They have to. The player doesn't want to leave. So to entice the player to leave, you need to let him go to a club that matches his sporting ambitions. And I think playing under Thomas Tuchel, playing in London, playing Champions League football, that could be enough to finally force Frenkie De Jong's hands to move away from Barcelona. And if that involves Aspi or Alonso, then happy days, basically. So you guys, also on top of that, we have to sell midfield players before we sign any new mids. So it's not making as much sense unless we're going to sell off a lot of midfield players over the next few weeks. But then I'd be curious who they would be, because there's been no interested reports in many of these guys already. So that's all the news today. Please share your thoughts and opinions, you guys. And on that note, I'm EFC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.